That Fever versus Mystics game last night, oh my God. That was one of the best games I can remember watching in recent history. That was absolute cinema from beginning to end. No matter which team you were cheering for, if you were not even cheering for either of those teams, that was an amazing game to watch. So many players showed out, showed up, did their thing. It was so great to watch, and I just want to talk about it. Obviously, I do want to talk about some things that were questionable, coaching-wise, player-wise, decision-wise, but I also do want to credit all of these players for having amazing games. So starting the game off, the first quarter, if you watch that, you probably thought the game was going to go in a completely different direction. I know I did, because the Fever came out full guns blazing. I thought they were going to run away with that shit. Caitlin hit 2 threes. After kind of struggling for the past 3 games to hit her 3-point shot, she did hit like 2 back-to-back threes. And in my mind, I was like, okay, she found that shit back. She's going to turn it up. But then she did not turn it up at that point in the game. She does later on, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that, don't worry. So yeah, Caitlin had 6 points at this point. Sophie Cunningham had 5 points. She hit a 3. Monique Billings had 4. Aaliyah Boston had 5. She had also hit a 3. So I was like, I think in the first quarter, like almost every single starter hit a 3 except for Monique Billings. So I was like, oh my God, they're gonna run away with this. Oh, also I wanna talk about the Mystics too, sorry. Shakira has amazing footwork, I think, and I think that Kiki also has amazing footwork. They're both two good post players. Cody, for her first game, she definitely came out full guns a-blazing, wow. I do think that she's a bit out of control with her drives. I know that she is a slasher, but I think that some of her drives are going to get her called for a lot of offensive fouls. But she's a great player. I'm not trying to say that she's bad or anything like that. I think she's a great player, and it was her first game. But I do think she was, I don't want to say overly aggressive, because that's not a bad thing to be aggressive, but some of the fouls that she got also, and some of her drives, and just some of her takes, and some of her off-ball movement was just a bit rough, which is fine. It's her first game, but I think she's going to have to get a little more in control in the future. Yeah, I mean, the Mystics didn't really have an answer for the Fever in the first quarter, but then the second quarter started. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in the second quarter, but Sonia began turning up a little bit. Shakira began turning up, and then the Fever turned down. I think they could not buy a bucket. They could not find any shots. They could not find any actions. They scored 9 points the entire second quarter, and it was a rough watch. I mean, they really could not, and it wasn't even like they were missing wide open shots. They just were not finding any looks. None of their actions were working. The Mystics defense was incredible. I mean, yeah, they did have some good looks, but they were just off. I mean, I think the Mystics defense had a lot to do with it, but also they just were missing a lot of shots that they would be making normally. Also, another thing, Raven Johnson didn't play much this game. That's one thing that I wanted to talk about, the coaching. I'm not saying I'm not a coach, I don't know, but I do play basketball. So it was interesting to see the rotations that Stephanie White was making and the lack of adjustments that were being made also. Again, I'm not trying to say anything about her as a coach or anything like that. I was just like, as an observation, some of the rotations did not really make a lot of sense to me. I thought that Caitlin and Raven were going to be kind of interchangeable as like guards, kind of like when Caitlin's not in, Raven would be in. But when Caitlin and Raven were both out, specifically when Caitlin was out, not even just in this quarter, but in any of the quarters that Caitlin was out, the efficiency was definitely lower. Even though Caitlin was off, I think her having the ball to start the offense makes a world of a difference. Even if she's not getting her shot off, but since she's able to be a playmaker and to orchestrate and be a floor general, I think that is very much missing when she's off the court. And then for Raven not to really be a direct kind of substitute as a point guard. I know she's a rookie, so she's not necessarily at the same level as a lot of other point guards in the league or, you know, other teams in the league. She's obviously going to struggle a little bit, but for her to really not have gotten any touches, it seemed like, I mean, she didn't even shoot in the second quarter. Especially for this quarter to have been going the way that it was, I think there should have been a few more rotation changes or just, I don't know, trying different stuff because nothing was working. And the Mystics went on a freaking tear. They scored 20 points in the second quarter, so they took the lead and they kind of started to run away with it. Like I said, Sonia started turning up, Shakira started turning up. I don't think anyone knew how much Sonia was going to turn up, or the big three of the Mystics, which is Sonia, Kiki, and Shakira, but also Georgia as well. She's a great point guard. Once she gets healthy and when she's allowed to play unrestricted minutes, I don't know what her minute restriction was, but she definitely was on a very heavy minute restriction. She only played 5 minutes in the second quarter, but yeah, once she starts playing more, it's going to be scary for the Mystics, for other teams playing the Mystics. More than anything, the Fever needed to get out of that second quarter, and they did. They made it out of the second quarter. The third quarter starts, and the Mystics do not stop. They continue. Kiki scored 13 points in the third quarter. Sonia scored 6. Shakira scored 5. They were on a tear. It was insane to watch. This team of children, this team of, if you were on Twitter, you literally see like your team just got cooked by young hoes. Like, what is their age? 24 is their average age. That's ridiculous. But this team of like rookie, second-year players and like third-year players, they look so composed and so like, they have like such great chemistry together for only playing a few games. It's ridiculous to watch. It's scary to watch. It's amazing to watch. It's scary for other teams to see this as their really second year of building this new core that they have. And this is without even their, you know, early first round pick, Lauren Betts. She's still getting her footing. And I think it's going to take her a little bit of time to get, oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought a bit. Somebody called me. I think I was talking about Lauren Betts. I think I was saying it's going to take her a little bit of time to get accustomed to the speed of the WNBA. We've seen that in the past with a lot of taller players, Dominique Malonga being one, taking her a few games to kind of get used to the speed, get used to the physicality. Traditionally, yeah, we have seen a lot of taller players take a little bit of time. And when I mean taller, I mean like 6'5" and over, or 6'4" and over, kind of. It takes them a little bit of time. I have no worries about Lauren Betts. You know, I don't have any worries about her struggling for like a super extended period of time. But once she gets it figured out, it's gonna be over. I think it's gonna be over for the rest of the league, genuinely. Whether that be the end of this year or next year, we'll see. But yeah. I have high expectations for Lauren Betts. And then the Fever also, while still, you know, being able to score points, Kelsey Mitchell kind of picked it up. She was kind of carrying a good amount of the scoring load. Caitlin also had 5. She still hadn't hit any more threes, but she had been getting kind of mauled. The thing with the WNBA's attention to this specific foul calls that have to do with freedom of movement, they're going to have to be consistent about the way they call these fouls, because that's when it's going to start being very frustrating for the players when they get these foul calls that they don't really understand why they're getting them, because in some games, they'll be called for, you know, ticky-tack fouls that it seems like they're ticky-tack. But then other games, they can literally, like, be shoving players, getting them off balance, like, kind of disrupting their path of movement, and then they won't be called for it. So I think they're going to have to be more consistent with it. If this is a point of emphasis that they want to have with the freedom of movement, they're going to have to be consistent about it. And today I think it was very inconsistent. There was times where it felt like a lot of the ball handlers were being, not even just Caitlin, but obviously she has the ball a lot of the time, but Kelsey Mitchell as well, being like completely displaced. Being completely displaced with the ball. But she did get a few foul calls in this quarter. I think there was a tech also. Am I remembering that right? Was it a tech or was it there had to be a tech, or maybe like a 3-second call or something, because she had shot 1 free throw, but I don't remember. So we'll see. Caitlin had 5 this quarter. Lexi Hole had 5 this quarter. And then Kelsey Mitchell had a lot of good shots. She had a few good mid-ranges as well. And then she had a 3. Kind of get the Fever back on track a little bit, but the Mystics still were firing on all cylinders. So it felt like the game was over in the third quarter. However, CaitlinClark, damn. Whether or not you like or dislike Caitlin Clark, she is an amazing player. 17 points in the fourth quarter. I remember specifically, she hit a 3, but it was caught an offensive foul on Myesha Hines-Allen for a moving screen or something. And then Caitlin hits the 3 after the fact. The crowd is like, oh, you know how the crowd reacts and stuff like that. After that specific play, when she hit that 3 after the fact, it was very clear that she was frustrated. And I don't know, it looked like there was a visible change in something she did when she hit that shot. And that's why people are always like, no matter how off a shooter is, if there's a shooter in the game, do not let them keep shooting, no matter what. That shot that she hit after the play ended was a mistake for whoever. And I'm not even saying it's anyone's fault, but that's the type of stuff that happens with shooters, and also her getting free throws as well. She came down, I think, the next play and hit a 3, and you could tell there was something different because the crowd started getting hyped. Caitlin's crowd control is incredible. She comes down, she hits another 3. And at that point, the crowd is on their feet. I mean, the Mystics also did their thing. Sonia started going off as well. She had 12 in this quarter. She was going crazy. She also had a lot of free throws as well. I'm not saying that that's invalid, but I mean, Sonia was going nuts. When Caitlin hit that second 3, I remember looking over and saying, I wasn't watching this game alone. I remember looking over and saying, if she hits another 3, she will blow the roof off of this bitch. She comes down, hits another 3, and like they always say like the Caitlin Clark style 3, like a deep ass 3, like probably 30 feet, maybe 20, 29 feet. Oh my God. The crowd pop, Caitlin's hype as shit. And at this point, the Fever do start taking the lead. They start going back and forth. The atmosphere in this game, and then after all of that, for the Mystics to still be as composed as they were, this is a young team. Like, there was instances where their inexperience did show. A lot of times with low shot clock possessions, we saw some unforced turnovers. There's instances where you can be like, okay, this is a young team, they're gonna do stuff like that. But then there's times like this where one of the stars of the league, Caitlin, and also Kelsey Mitchell are starting to, go off a little bit, where you could easily be flustered and easily, make more mistakes. But they still, were composed. They did make a few mistakes, but they figured it out. I mean, even defensively, the Fever did figure things out as well. They held Shakira to no points this quarter. Obviously, there was a lot of fouls going on. There was some missed shots. I think there were some bad shot attempts from a few players on the Fever. Some kind of unnecessary shots. I mean, obviously, Caitlin's going to do a heat check. I mean, if you hit 3 threes in a row, you might as well do a damn heat check. I don't care. At some point, the game is, the Fever are down 3. I mean, damn, the Mystics didn't miss a free throw in the fourth quarter. This is what I'm talking about. This is the level of composure we don't even see from vets sometimes. To go 10 for 10, Sonia 8 for 8 from free throws, and then Georgia hit 2 for 2. And then we get to the point at the end of the fourth, the Fever are down 3 with 5 seconds left. Stephanie White draws up one of the most beautiful plays I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Wow. I think Sophie Cunningham inbounded the ball. I don't really want to talk about Maisha Hines-Allen. There's a lot of things I could say about her. Let's talk about Maisha Hines-Allen, actually. I don't believe she has a future with this team. I'm not saying she's a bad player, but she is playing bad. And Maisha Hines-Allen has showed that she's a great player in the past. However, I don't think the Fever is the team for her, and I don't think Dallas was the team for her. That's neither here nor there. I do want to add that she makes some horrible mistakes at times. And unfortunately, also, Aaliyah Boston did get hurt. I don't remember when that happened, but she did not play the whole fourth quarter. They definitely need Aaliyah Boston in that lineup, and I don't think Maisha Hines-Allen is a good, backup player for Aaliyah Boston. They have to change that. That cannot continue, truly. But yeah, Sophie Cunningham, I think it was Sophie Cunningham that threw this beautiful pass to Maisha Hines-Allen, and Caitlin comes across on a curl off a handoff, hits a fading 3 in the corner. Sonia's guarding her. Shakira's, both of them have a hand in her face, or was it Kiki and Sonia? I don't know who it was. 2 hands in Caitlin's face, fading to the corner. Hits the 3. Crowd blows up.
Will it be Mitchell? Will it be Clark? Cunningham looking. Versus Hines-Allen. Handoff Clark for the tie. Yes! Caitlin Clark has tied the game with under 2 seconds left to play.
That is a crazy shot. Caitlin did 5 threes in this quarter also. For anyone else having concerns about her shot, I believe it is safe to say she found it. She hit 7 threes this game. I think her shot is back. I think that's okay to say that. This is a tie game at this point. The ball gets inbounded to Sonia, and she hits a full half-court shot. Crowd is silent. Everyone is distressed, but she didn't get the shot off in time. But oh my God, Sonia, dude, that was an insane shot. I really do kind of wish that she hit that shot. That would have been such a crazy shot for her to have hit. Oh my gosh. I'm glad they still won the game, but that was a crazy shot. And it literally, as soon as it left her hand, I was like, she's gonna make that shit. Sure enough, she missed it by half a second though. The buzzer went off and when she released it. But wow, dude. And then overtime starts, and I think the Fever definitely struggled without Aaliyah Boston in the game. That was something that they desperately needed. Like I said, Maisha Hines-Allen really isn't their answer that they need for when Aaliyah Boston is not in the game. I mean, they need another player. You can't expect Aaliyah Boston to play 40 minutes a game. They're going to need another player for her when she's subbed out, when she's having aches and pains, and when she's hurt. Anyways, I do want to say Sonia is an amazing player. She is a future MVP. I believe. Kiki, a great player, future MVP in the league, perhaps. The Mystics, again, just look composed, look like nothing can shake them. Sonia especially, because, people literally always comment about how she literally, looks unfazed 99% of the time. And when she is frustrated, it's literally, half a second, and then she's back to being locked in. I'm not saying other players aren't locked in, but truly, it looks like nothing is fazing her. Again, she had 30 points today, sophomore player. That is ridiculous. I think that she is going to be a problem in this league for a long time. Yeah, over time, the Fever did not have the same type of spark that they had. I think the last shot definitely should have went to Caitlin, given that she had already hit 7 threes and was kind of the hot hand at the time. I do wish that she hadn't went for the 2. I think or not the two. I wish she hadn't went for that mid-range fadeaway. I think I was expecting her to drive to the basket maybe or something. But she shot a super fading mid-range in the corner. But yeah, I mean, it would have been a great shot if it went in, but I think the Fever were desperately missing Aaliyah Boston. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing game, dude. The Mystics looked absolutely unstoppable. 104 to 102. High scoring games. I'm loving these high scoring games this year. We did not see this many high scoring games last year, I don't think. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but Kiki, 25 points, 13 rebounds. Insane double-double. Cody, for her first WNBA game, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover. But the 4 fouls, I would say that every single foul was a foul. I think the refs actually did a pretty decent job with the fouls that they did call. Some were questionable, but I wasn't too mad at it. I think they missed a few calls as well, especially with the landing space, the shooting space. I think they missed like 2 for Caitlin and 1 for Kelsey Mitchell, which were like kind of obvious shooting space fouls, I think. Shakira, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Soniacitron, 30 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Are you kidding me? Shooting 71%? That's nuts! Kiki shooting 64%. That's ridiculous. 71%, 30 points. Can we sink in? Can we let that sink in? That's ridiculous. Rory Harmon, she came in, gave some good minutes, I think, as well, for a 3rd round pick. I'm so glad that the Mystics got her. Caitlin, 32 points, 8 assists. Also, I think they missed 2 of Caitlin's assists. I think she should have 10 assists. And I think they're probably going to change that because I know people do not play about those, like, betting apps or whatever. But yeah, 32 points. 8 assists, asterisks, because it's probably 10. Kelsey Mitchell, 24 points. Monique Billings, 10 points. Aaliyah Boston, 9 points. But again, she was hurt. She only played 20 minutes. I was editing this video and I just realized that Kelsey Mitchell had 0 rebounds and 0 assists. And this is the 2nd game in a row that she's done that. Not really sure how that's even possible, actually, to play that many minutes. I think she played 37 minutes. I just find it very hard to believe that not a single like rebound fell into her hands or that she didn't like accidentally pass the ball to somebody for an assist. I don't really know what that's about. I think that's something that we might have to continue to watch over the next few games. But yeah, I just thought it was important to note that. That's the meat and potatoes of the video. Sorry about that. Lexi Holt, 9 points. Dantas, 3 points. I'm going to need to see a little bit more from Dantas. That's all I'm going to say. Maisha Hines-Allen, I'm going to need to see less of her, I think. But that's neither here nor there. That was probably the best game I've seen in a long time. I think that was an amazing game. I'm very excited to see what the Mystics do for the rest of the year. I'm very excited to see what the Fever do for the rest of the year. I think we should all be excited to watch more games. This is going to be a very exciting season, so I'm excited to watch the games that are on today as well. So yeah, that's it. I have some more videos coming soon, so that's that.